Ethan's skin prickled. If you've been here all this time, why haven't I seen you before? Because they never let you come this deep, the figure said. Not the woman. Not the collector. They fought over you up there. They pointed vaguely toward the ceiling, but down here? This was mine. Eden crossed their arms. Guarding it? Or locking it away? The figure's faint smile didn't falter. Both. Because the truth wasn't ready for you. The air in the bedroom shifted, the colors dimming, as if the walls themselves were listening. Ethan felt the pull of the storm from the fracture beyond, seeping into the edges of the memory. We don't have much time, Eden said. If the collector gets in here. He's already here, the figure interrupted. Ethan turned sharply. What? The figure nodded toward the closet. You've been thinking of him as someone outside you. But part of him has always been in here. Inside the memory. Inside me. Before Ethan could respond, the closet door creaked open. A shadow pulled out, curling along the floor like spilled ink. It rose, taking shape, not the full collector, but a fragment, thinner, sharper, like a splinter of glass. Its voice was a whisper, but it carried through the room. All these years, I've been waiting for the door to open. Eden stepped forward, blocking Ethan. Then we close it. Now. The figure in the chair rose slowly, their expression unreadable. If you close it, I go with him. I'm part of this split. Ethan's pulse raced. Wait, you're saying, if I seal the memory, you'll be gone? Yes, the figure said simply. But if you don't, he'll keep using me to reach you. The shadow from the closet stretched closer, brushing the tips of Ethan's shoes. The air grew colder, heavier. Eden looked at him. It's your call. 3 choices again. Seal the memory, erase the figure, and risk losing something he's never known he had. Leave it open and risk the collector's fragment leaking out. Or, try to pull the figure out with them, breaking the memory in a way no one expects. Ethan's chest tightened. What happens if I try to take you with me? The figure smiled faintly. Then you'd better be ready to carry more than you can hold. The air inside the bedroom felt heavy enough to crush him. The figure in the dark green sweater stood between Ethan and the open closet, where the collector's shadow writhed like a living oil spill. Eden kept one hand on Ethan's shoulder, the other poised as if ready to strike, but neither of them knew what that would even mean here. Ethan swallowed hard. If I take you with me, will the shadow follow? The figure's answer was quiet, almost calm. He'll try. But if I'm out there, I can't be his doorway anymore. Eden's grip tightened. That's assuming you're telling the truth. I am, the figure said simply. But truth doesn't make it safe. The collector's fragment hissed from the closet. You can't pull them without pulling me. We're stitched together. Ethan's heart thudded. Then I'll tear the stitches. Before Eden could stop him, Ethan stepped forward, reaching for the figure's hand. The moment their fingers touched, the room shuddered. The wallpaper peeled away in long strips. The floorboards cracked, light spilling through like molten gold. The shadow shrieked not in pain, but in anger, and shot forward. Eden moved fast, stepping between Ethan and the closet, catching the brunt of the shadow's lunge. The darkness coiled around them, pulling, dragging. Go! Eden shouted. Before it takes me instead. Ethan's grip on the figure's hand tightened. Not without you. The figure's voice cut through the chaos. Ethan, listen to me. If you pull us both, you'll merge us. Me. You. Eden. All at once. And if I don't? Then one of us stays behind. Forever. The shadow lashed again, striking the walls, the ceiling, the bed. Each impact sent another fissure of light through the room. The fracture was collapsing fast. Ethan's mind raced. 3 lives tangled together, his, Eden's, and this strange figure who'd been guarding the truth. And somewhere in that knot, the collector's fragment. He could feel the silver button in his pocket, pulsing faintly, as if it knew the choice was coming. Eden's voice came through the roar of breaking wood and ripping sky. Ethan, if you merge us, we'll be one person. No going back. No more Ethan and Eden. Just us. The shadow hissed again. Do it. Merge. I'll be part of you too. Ethan clenched his jaw. Not you. He pulled. The golden light in the cracks surged upward, wrapping around the figure's arm, then Eden's. The shadow screamed, twisting violently, trying to wedge itself between them. But the button's pulse grew stronger, matching the rhythm of Ethan's heartbeat. With a final, desperate tug, Ethan yanked both the figure and Eden toward him. The room exploded into light. The shadows shattered like glass. And then, silence. Ethan opened his eyes to find himself back in the meadow, but it wasn't the same. The sky, the grass, even the air felt different, like three melodies woven into a single chord. Eden was gone. The figure was gone. Only Ethan remained. But when he looked down at his hands, they weren't just his, they were all of theirs. The meadow was quiet. Too quiet. Ethan stood in the soft grass, the golden light wrapping around him like a warm mist. But it didn't feel like the meadow he'd known. It felt denser. Every sound, every shift of the wind carried a weight he couldn't quite name. He flexed his fingers. The skin looked like his own, but the shape, the fine lines, the slight taper was different. He could see Eden's hands in them. And when he shifted his stance, he recognized the posture of the figure in the green sweater, grounded, unyielding. I'm still me, he thought. But as the thought formed, another voice, Eden's, echoed inside, we're still us. And beneath it, a third voice, quieter, steady, we're whole now. Ethan took a breath. The air felt sharper, as if it cut right into him, but left no wound. He turned slowly in place, noticing subtle changes in the meadow. The trees now stood taller, their bark streaked with silver. The grass swayed in waves, forming patterns, spirals, like the engravings on the silver buttons. The silver-coated woman emerged from the tree-line. She froze when she saw him. You merged, she said, her tone unreadable. Ethan didn't answer right away. I didn't just pull them out. I pulled them into me. Her eyes narrowed. Do you have any idea what that means? Yes, Ethan said, though the truth was murkier. It means the collector can't reach them anymore. A cold laugh drifted across the meadow. The collector stepped out from the shadow of a tree, his presence sharper than ever. Oh, Ethan. You've made yourself far more interesting than I expected. Ethan's body tensed, but the fear that usually came with seeing him wasn't the same. It was there, but muted, as if shared between three minds. The collector's gaze swept over him. Now you carry the origin point inside you. You are the meadow. And that means I no longer have to take Eden to rewrite you. I just have to take you. The woman moved between them. You can't touch him here. The collector smiled faintly. Not here. But this place isn't the only world he walks in now. He's split across 3 lives, and I only need to catch one of them. Ethan's pulse quickened. What does that mean? It means, the collector said, stepping back toward the shadows, that every door you open from now on might be mine. The moment he disappeared, the woman turned to Ethan. He's telling the truth. By merging, you've anchored yourself in more than one reality. He'll be waiting in the seams. So what do I do? Ethan asked. Her eyes held his, grave and certain. You either learn to use what you've become, or you prepare to let it go. Eden's voice inside him was firm. We're not letting go. The figure's voice followed. Then we need to test what we can do. A gust of wind swept through the meadow, carrying with it a strange sound, faint but distinct. Knocking. Like someone tapping on a wooden door. Ethan turned toward the tree-line. Between 2 silver-barked trees, a doorway had appeared, no frame, no walls, just an opening. The knocking came again. The woman frowned. Don't answer it. Ethan stepped closer. Why not? Because, she said slowly, whatever's on the other side knows you're merged, and it's not me knocking. The knocking came again, 3 slow taps that seemed to vibrate through the air rather than the wood of any real door. Ethan stood just a few paces from the strange doorway between the silver-barked trees. There was no frame, no hinges, just a rectangle of shadow, as if a piece of the world had been cut out and left hollow. Inside him, Eden's voice was steady. It feels familiar. The figure's voice followed, more cautious. Familiar doesn't mean safe. Behind him, the woman in the silver coat's tone was sharp. Ethan, I mean it. This could be worse than the collector. That's not possible, Ethan said without turning. It's not only possible, she said, it's likely. The knocking shifted, now faster, urgent, almost impatient. Then a voice, muffled but clear enough to send a shiver down his spine. "You're late." Ethan's hand hovered over the shadowed opening. "Who are you?" The voice replied, "The one you left behind, before either of them found you." Eden's voice inside him was tense. "That's not me." The figure agreed. "Or me." The woman stepped forward, placing a hand on his arm. "Think about this. You've just anchored yourself. Step through that door, and you could unravel it before you even understand what you've become." The knocking stopped. Silence filled the air, too sudden, too heavy. Ethan's chest tightened. If they know me from before the split, then they might have answers about who I was before all this. Or they might be the one who caused it, the woman countered. The shadow in the doorway rippled. Slowly, a hand emerged, not skeletal or monstrous, but human. It was slender, the nails neatly kept, the skin tinted faintly gold as if lit from within. Ethan stared. Something about that hand made his pulse spike. A memory tried to surface, warmth, laughter, the smell of baking bread, but it slid away before he could grasp it. The hand beckoned once, then twice, and the shadow whispered, "Come home." Inside, Eden's voice was taut. "If you go in, we go together." The figure's voice was firmer. "And we might not come back the same." Ethan glanced at the woman. "If I don't go? Then you'll spend the rest of your life wondering who they are, and they'll keep knocking until you answer." Ethan stepped forward. The silver button in his pocket pulsed once, slow, deliberate, almost like a warning. He took a breath and stepped through the shadow. The world beyond was not dark. It was blinding. A flood of golden light swallowed him whole, heat wrapping around his skin like an embrace. Shapes moved in the brightness, too blurred to see clearly, but one voice rang out through the radiance. "Welcome back, my child." Ethan froze. He knew that voice. But it couldn't be real. It belonged to someone who'd been gone since before the split. The golden light softened just enough for Shapes to take form. Ethan squinted, his eyes adjusting until the brightness resolved into a figure standing a few feet away. They were tall, draped in a robe of pale ivory, the fabric catching and holding the light like liquid gold. Their hair, long and loosely bound, shimmered between shades of silver and warm amber. But it was their face that froze Ethan in place, gentle lines, sharp eyes, and a smile that felt impossibly familiar. He didn't remember them, yet his chest ached with the sense that he should. "Who are you?" Ethan asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The figure's eyes warmed. "I am the one who named you before either of them, before the woman in the coat, before the collector. I am the beginning of your beginning." Inside him, Eden's voice was uncertain. I know them. Or I think I do." The figure's voice was calm but steady. "You do. We shared years together before the split. I raised you to walk freely between selves. To be both without fear." The figure in the green sweater spoke next, their voice more guarded. "If that's true, why didn't they protect us when the split happened?" Ethan voiced it aloud. "If you're telling the truth, where were you when they tore me apart?"